meeting time. All right, if you're gonna talk, go outside. This is very important. We gotta go over this. We gotta make sure you hear exactly what's being said. All right, there are handouts that will be handed out. That's what handouts do, you hand them out. It's crazy. Anyways, each person's gonna talk. We have Hank here from the South Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association. I said it quickly that time. He's the lobbyist for them. He's gonna come up and speak about this, and then me, Sheila, and Ashton have a few things to add. Make sure you sign in. And we're going to open up questions at the very end. So if you have a question, jot it down on your phone, something like that. Save it for the end. Please don't have the sidebar conversations. I know we're all a bunch of fun-loving people, but keep it serious while we're having this meeting so we can get through it. If we start going back and forth, it's going to take forever. But we want to get this done and get the information you need, okay? So make sure you sign in. Make sure you pick up one of the, can someone hand me one of the yellow stickers back there? Yellow stickers. Sweet. Logos and Anderson was kind enough to print these up and donate them. You scan this, it goes to the, is this the link tree or the petition?
Goes directly to the link tree.
This goes to the link tree, which has the petition, all our social media and everything. If you're a business owner, bar owner, if you're here, take one. But if you're a bar owner, take a couple of them, 3, 4 of them, put them on your bar. That way you can tell people to scan them and get all the information they need when they need it. These are for you. Make sure you get some. So, anything else, Sheila, I need to add?
He's also going to get up and speak from the kind of his perspective as far as being a councilman. So thank you very much for also being here. And if you're ready, let's do this.
If you're ready, you can come on up, Hank.
Let's do it.
Hi,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Hank.
Tribble. You guys give it up for Tribble. Well, good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to be with you guys. My name is Hank Davis. I'm the Vice President of Government Affairs for the South Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association, and I'm also the Principal Lobbyist for the association. For those that don't know anything about the SCRLA, we are a statewide trade association, 2,200 members strong across the entire states, primarily restaurants and hotels, but we also have allied members, whether it's a campground or a music venue, whether it is a marina or a golf course. If it's hospitality, we represent you at the State House every single day. Delighted to be here. Thank you so much, Ken, for inviting me. I did not know about this coalition that you all have set up until late last week when a colleague of mine in the industry passed along the WYFF piece on y'all's coalition, and read the article, watched the video, and was like, man, these guys are preaching to the choir. This is exactly the work that we have been doing at the State House for well over a year now, and felt like it would be a natural fit for you guys to be a part of the coalition that we have already joined and set up in Columbia. So I want to talk a little bit about, first of all, the issue, how we got in this mess. So as most of y'all probably know, in 2017, Senators Luke Rankin and Gerald Malloy wrote a bill and put into law, I believe it's 116, correct? It was Senate Bill 116, which forced anyone in the state who runs a business that sells alcohol to carry a minimum $1 million of liquor liability insurance. I couldn't tell you, I'm not from the industry originally. I don't know what the policy was that you might have had to carry if there even was a minimum or a mandatory minimum prior to 2017, but $1 million is a lot of money. And we talk about, you can go down to Myrtle Beach and you see the Margaritavilles and you see the other chains, they can handle $1 million policy. 90+% of South Carolina's businesses are small business. Places like this, places like y'all own, that might not necessarily have the resources to pay for a policy so great. Since that was put into effect in 2017, we had well over, in 2017, let me back up just a minute, we had over 25 different insurance underwriters for liquor liability insurance policies in the state. We are now down to less than 10. We have got allied members across the state who underwrite these policies across the state for our members, and I've even heard you can count it on one hand at this point how many underwriters are still writing liquor liability in South Carolina. The reason that we have seen such a significant decrease in the amount of liquor liability underwriters is because they can't turn a profit. South Carolina, as y'all might know, I don't know if anybody go down to Myrtle Beach, enjoy themselves for a weekend or so, during the summertime. Y'all see all those signs heading down US 17 or coming in and out of town, talking about bed bugs in a hotel. You get the idea. That covers a lot of other things than just bed bugs. So the State House is made up of part-time legislators. There are 124 House members and 46 senators. The wide majority of them are plaintiffs' attorneys. They're by trade and have a lot to do, some of them, some don't, have a lot to do with these billboards that you see all across the Low Country and beyond. When someone is named in a lawsuit and alcohol is involved, let's say, for example, I'm going to give an example. If there are three defendants named in a lawsuit, and this person went and had brunch at one of these restaurants or bars at 11:30, and then they went to another bar at 2 o'clock, and they might have had 2 beers and a shot and maybe an appetizer, and then you continue to go on, and then the evening gets longer and the drinks continue, so forth and so on, and then unfortunately maybe a wreck happens. By and large, what ends up happening is that every bar, every restaurant, every marina, every golf course that they went to during that time is named as a defendant in one of these lawsuits.
That's true.
Yeah. Let's say that 5 people are named in this lawsuit. 3 of them settle out of court. Current state law, the jury is not allowed to know what those other 3 defendants settled out of court for. So the other 2 people that ultimately take this to trial, that are defendants, are on the hook for the entire amount of money that is being asked for in the lawsuit. It makes no sense. How is that fair? That is the first question that came to my mind when I heard about this issue. How to protect yourself? I want us to just say this because it's fresh for the example. Make sure you've got point of sale systems. Make sure you're checking IDs. Make sure you've got video to prove that you have done everything that you could do to control and limit your liability in any situation. I just want to just say that for the record. That is vitally important. So anyways, that is the current business climate when it comes to lawsuits in regards to alcohol. What is being done at the State House? So this year, there has been a piece of legislation introduced and co-sponsored now by over 25 senators in the Senate called the SC Justice Act. It's called S533. That's the bill number. And what the Justice Act does is essentially, it's essentially lawsuit reform. It goes back and will fix who is at what percentage of fault in a lawsuit. There is no reason that the person in my example serving brunch at 11:30 should be as equally as held liable as the last 2 people that might have overserved them, might have served them a couple shots, and then the person drives off and commits a wreck. Personally, being a lobbyist for the restaurant industry, I don't think that, I think that personal responsibility should play a huge role in this issue, but because of the way the laws are set up now, it makes you as the bartender, makes you as the venue owner, makes you as the business owner personally liable, makes you the police, making you use your best judgment. I don't find that to be very fair, personally. So what we're trying to do is get this bill passed. This bill does not affect or change this $1 million minimum for having restaurants and whoever serves alcohol across the state. But this is the first step, in my view, in the right direction on righting this ship and making it more of a level playing field for all of us. I'm at the State House every single day that they're in session. I have spoken to multiple House and Senate members about this issue. This is something that our industry has been pushing for since 2017. It's only reached this crisis point now. And something has to be done. I don't know what it's going to take. Is it going to take your state senator or your House member's favorite restaurant to close in your hometown to make them wake up? I don't know. But what we need to do, you need to be as loud as you can. You need to be in the offices of your state House member and your state senator. You need to be blowing up their voicemails. You need to be flooding their inboxes. You need to be pushing for meetings with them face to face, in person, and telling your stories as bartenders, as restaurant owners, as concert venue owners. This is just the situation. My liability insurance was X, and now it is Y. I've had no claims. Something has to be done about this, or we're going to go out of business. You are the people that are providing jobs for your local community. You are providing the state plenty of tax revenue. I mean, this is a no-brainer to me. Like, these people have got to wake up. So my ask to y'all is to do those things. Be loud, be noisy. They were elected to represent you. If they don't hear from you, they will not do anything about it. For the Justice Act, we are the furthest we have ever gotten in the going on 6 years now that we have been fighting 116. Fighting the $1 million minimum. And we have received this year 2 subcommittee hearings from the Senate Judiciary Committee. It was handpicked by Luke Rankin, who put the $1 million liability policy into place in the first place. And out of the 25 senators, that's over half of our state Senate, supporting this bill, only 1 subcommittee member is a co-sponsor. All 7 subcommittee members are plaintiffs' attorneys.
Yep.
So that I told Ken I would be blunt. This is the God honest truth. Is this going anywhere? I certainly hope so. I'd like to think so. The General Assembly is constitutionally mandated to stop session on the 11th or the second Thursday in May. So they are officially out of session. They are still dealing with the budget and other issues that were the governor's priority when he did a state of address this year. So this issue will not likely be taken up until next January at the very earliest. We have no time to wait. We have no time to wait. Please get in touch with your elected officials. Put the pressure on where you can. And just be honest. Tell them your story. Tell them where you've been, where you're at, and what's going to happen if legislative change is not done. This is not an alcohol problem. This is not an insurance problem. This is a legislative problem that is going to have to take a legislative fix.
So basically what you're saying is we have 6 days to make some noise.
So they are...
We need to, like, as of tonight and tomorrow, we need to make sure they're hearing exactly what you're saying while they're in session for the next 6 days, right?
So the House was in on Tuesday, the Senate was in today, and they're done this week. They're not going to be in Columbia anymore.
This week, like Friday this week, or do they take like?
They're done until the call of the chair, meaning only the Speaker of the House or the Senate President are going to bring them back to Columbia to deal with anything.
So we need to be blowing up their phones and making their
100%.
making their administrative assistants miserable.
100%.
So they will have to get off their boats in the golf course and come and handle us.
Her words, not mine. So that's pretty much the gist. I do want to tell you guys, just anecdotally, there is a coalition that we as the SCRLA are a part of. It's called the South Carolina Coalition for Lawsuit Reform. Please I'm gonna give all this information so it can be sent out through the appropriate channels. But the South Carolina Coalition for Lawsuit Reform is taking the lead on this issue, and it doesn't represent just restaurants, bars, hotels, etc. This is a manufacturing issue. This is a trucking issue. Did y'all know, because of the insurance issue that South Carolina has, that any 18-wheeler that you see in South Carolina is paying for their insurance by the mile? Did y'all realize that? What? That is how bad things are here. So blow up your people. Join our association. Would love to have you all as members. If y'all join our association, you're by proxy members of the Coalition for Lawsuit Reform. I appreciate y'all's time tonight. I'll take some questions at the end, and I'll stick around after the end of the program to mingle with you guys. But y'all's turning out and showing up today. I mean, this speaks volume. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.